What's going on, everybody? I am the FD Guru, bringing to you guys an NFL Week 3 main slate video of my DFS podcast. As I tweeted earlier, I'm doing a Guru credit code in this video. I'm going to try to do one every week, every NFL video, but we'll see what happens. Give this video a like. Make sure you are subscribed for all future videos, and I will give you that 15 credit code after the first couple of my NFL plays. We have 12 games on the main slate for Sunday, 9 in the early window at 1 o'clock Eastern, 3 in the afternoon window starting at 4:05 Eastern. It's an interesting slate. There's a lot of injuries up in the air, so there's a lot of spots I got to avoid. A lot of questionable guys. We'll obviously have a better idea of those guys on Saturday and Sunday morning over the weekend, but I'm going to just avoid them. There's still plenty of value out there. I'm using FanDuel salaries as usual. 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end, and 1 defensive play that I find valuable. And hopefully these plays help you out. We've had a little bit of a sluggish start to the season, but it's still so early. Plenty of time to get it all back, and let's look forward to a successful week 3. So quarterback, I'm not going to overthink this one. I think I'm just going to spend up at Mahomes. I picked Mahomes last week. He wasn't the reason why we had a pretty unsuccessful Sunday. He did what he had to do. He's got Travis Kelce back. Kelce has a game under his belt now, so he's going to be even more reliable in week 3 against a distraught Chicago Bears team. We have, the rumors with Justin Fields blaming the coaching. You don't know how real that is, but there's just a lot of media, circling around the Bears locker room, and they're 0-2 after 2 terrible starts. So they're not feeling good going into a very difficult week 3 matchup against the Chiefs. They're 12.5 point favorites against the Bears. It's a 40 over-under. Mahomes should do what he has to do. I don't mind spending $9,200 on him. We could call his first 2 performances a little bit below average than what we're, accustomed to seeing, and he still got 20.5 and 22 fantasy points. So even when he doesn't look as sharp as he can be, he's still getting you 20 fantasy points. So that's what you spend up for. The matchup couldn't be any better this week. I really do like this play at 9,200. I'm going to give you guys some cheaper plays in other positions just so, we can comfortably fit Mahomes at quarterback. Running back, like I said, there's questionable guys we got to pay attention to. Jamal Williams on the Saints is questionable with a hamstring. A hamstring's pretty serious. There's a decent chance that he misses, and that's going to leave ultimate value open for the other 2 Saints running backs. It's the last week without Kamara. You got Kendre Miller, most likely coming back. He's been out for the first 2 weeks of this season. He could be an elite value play. And then Tony Jones, we saw step up for Williams against the Panthers. 12 carries, 2 touchdowns. They're both, minimum price. So neither of them are in this video for me as my play. But I thought, when I mentioned the questionable guys with injuries, that's a major spot here for some serious value if Jamal Williams is out. But who I am going to suggest is a guy who looked great in the first 2 weeks of the season, Raheem Mostert, against the Broncos. They're at home. They're pretty heavy favorites. I think they're 6.5 point favorites. They should establish a running game. No other running back last week against the Patriots saw more than 3 carries, while Mostert saw 18 carries for 2 touchdowns, 121 yards. The man went bananas. He also scored in the first week as well. So he's their, first down back, and he's their red zone back. So it looks like all of the carrying is going to be on Mostert's shoulders for the most part. Love this play at 6,600. You can't get running backs with, main usage for under 7,000 usually. There's not really, any sort of a backup or split role for the Dolphins. So it's elite value at 6,600. In the NFL these days in 2023, it's really hard to find a featured running back without a guy splitting carries. We have that in Miami. Mostert looks good at 6,600. Again, big favorites, so they'll have plenty of opportunities to establish that running game. Let's go over to my website for that 15 Guru credit code. Go over to my website, fd-guru.com. You can make an account for $50 in credit upon sign up. No credit card required. You just got to confirm your email. Once you are signed in, hit the shop page at the top, or hit the add Guru credits next to your name. You'll see the coupon bar on the shop page. This is where you buy all of your usual credits for all of my content: FanDuel, DraftKings, Prize Picks, Underdog, all that jazz. All caps, week 3 coins. Week 3 coins, all capital letters, the number 3 in the middle there. Hit apply coupon. You will get 15 credits after the page, reloads itself after, a couple of seconds. But again, give this video a like. Make sure you are subscribed. And let's get after this week 3 on NFL. For wide receiver, again, we're going to stay cheap here. I'm expecting Jair Alexander to be covering Chris Olave on Sunday for the most part. I do like the price and how Michael Thomas looked in week 2 against the Panthers. Now, all of this happened in the first half. 7 receptions, 9 targets, 55 yards, all happened in the first half. He did not receive a reception in the second half, which is a little concerning, but for the most part, his production looks really good in the first 2 weeks. We're used to Michael Thomas, when healthy, being a $7,500 player, $8,000 player. But with Olave really taking over as the number 1, Thomas still, you could argue, is the 1B, at worst, wide receiver 2. 17 targets combined in the first 2 weeks is no joke. His price being under $6,000 is awesome value. He could easily find the end zone. I really do like this play. As I mentioned, the Packers' best back, Jair Alexander, should be focusing more on Chris Olave. This is a really good play in my opinion. I do think his usage in that first half last week is no joke. It was just kind of a fluke that he didn't end up getting a catch in the second half, but they were up and didn't really need to pass as much against that dreadful Panthers team. But on the road in Green Bay, I think the Saints are going to have to establish more of a passing game. Derek Carr likes to air it out. We saw him get over 300 yards in week 1. So Thomas looks awesome, in my opinion, at 5,800. The price is unmatched to any other guy in the 5,000s. For tight end, I was thinking about mentioning Travis Kelce, but that doesn't really, take a guru to suggest that. I mean, we have Mahomes. If you can get Kelce in, go for it. I was a little skeptical of him last week because he was coming off of that injury, but we still saw him. He had a really lackluster first half and then came to life in the second half, getting a couple of receptions, got his touchdown. I expect a lot more production from him. 8,000 is a fine price. He could easily be 9,000. I think he's going to go off. There's less weapons for the Chiefs this year, so I expect Mahomes to look at Kelce even more against a brutal Bears team. But he's not my tight end I'm mentioning for value because anyone can spend up on Kelce. If you have the money, obviously, it's a good spot this week. But to save some money, I do like the rookie over in Detroit at home. With a good matchup against the Falcons, Sam Laporta, 5,200, just a good price on him. We saw him Thursday night on week 1, the first game of the season. He was a, key value pick in my single game lineups that we ended up cashing to start the season. 5 catches, 39 receiving yards is all you need. Had an even better game last week. 5 receptions, 63 yards. Jared Goff is clearly making it a priority to target his rookie tight end. He's had a lot of good things said about him in the offseason, and he is producing to start the year. His price hasn't changed. 5,200 is a nice, cheap, low price on a tight end where we know he's going to get targets from Jared Goff. And not that it, affects it too much, but Amon-Ra St. Brown does have turf toe, I think, and he's listed as questionable currently, but I think that guy's a bad motherfucker. I think he's going to end up playing Sunday. St. Brown is one of the baddest guys in the NFL, if not the toughest guy. I love the fact that he has, all the teams that drafted players ahead of him in the NFL draft, and he uses it as fuel. Again, I just wanted to kind of be a fanboy of St. Brown for a minute there because I don't think he really affects Laporta. I think Laporta is going to get his targets no matter what. 8.8 fantasy points is awesome without scoring a touchdown. You know, he's a tight end. Whenever they're in the red zone, he could always score. 5,200, he really needs anything over 5 to 6 fantasy points, which he's done to start the season. 11 combined targets from Goff. Pretty promising start for Sam Laporta. And then for defense, I think you want to spend up. I mentioned the Cowboys last week. They have another elite matchup. I mean, it's tough not to like this Cowboys defense. 37 to start the year obviously is not realistic. 15 made a lot of sense against the Jets, and they have an even easier matchup in Arizona against the Cardinals. If you have the money, spend up. I also like the Pats defense. They've looked really strong. We have Zach Wilson. We know what Bill Belichick does to Zach Wilson. Turns him into an absolute mush brain. So I think the Patriots defense could put up a cricket number as well. At the end of the day, as I say in every video, it kind of doesn't matter. You could honestly pick defenses with a blindfold on, and you could get lucky with a pick six or a scoop and score. But if you have the money, I do suggest spending up on one of these defenses. They're in the best spot this week. Even the Chiefs against that Bears offense that's looked terrible. You can't really go wrong, but we'll put in the Cowboys defense for this video to round out our value plays for week 3, guys. I do appreciate you for stopping by. Punch in that Guru credit code. Give this video a like and subscribe. I appreciate you again for stopping by. Until next time, I am the FD Guru. See ya.